Alright guys, well today we're making what I consider to be the ultimate comfort soup. Not only is it a leek and potato soup, but it's cheesy and chunky. So for this we need a couple of large leeks, an onion, 1 or 2 medium-sized potatoes, 20 grams of butter for sweating the veg down with, 500 ml of vegetable stock, 150 ml of milk, and about 125 grams of cheese, and I'm using soft cheese for this. Plus I'll be adding some salt and pepper to taste. The ingredients will be at the top of the screen as we go, and a full recipe at the end. Let's get cosy. First up then, let's prep the vegetables. So peel and dice your potato. I'm using 1 large potato. A little trick here, I cooked another potato later on, but you'll see that in a minute. Slice and dice the potato into 1 centimetre, that's about 1/2 inch pieces. I'm making a chunky soup, so you want the pieces to be spoon friendly. Nobody wants a big piece of spud in their mouth. Trim the leeks and then slice them lengthways. I slice mine twice so they're in lengthways quarters effectively, and then once again cut them up into spoon-sized pieces. These will wilt down a lot anyway. And then finally chop your onion. When you find a decent onion, that is. Number 1, number 2, number 3, third time lucky. And that's the prep work done. I suppose you could say that's the hard work done. Get a large pan onto medium heat, pop the butter in and let it melt down, and then it's in with the vegetables. I put mine in a little bit at a time, just so they could be fully coated in butter. Less stirring later on. Get the first batch stirred in, get them all coated in butter, and then it's in with the remainder. And once again, get it all stirred in, get them nicely coated in butter. And then it's in with the seasoning of your choice. I used a little bit of black pepper and about 1/2 teaspoon of fine salt. You can always adjust this later on when you do your little taste test. Once the veg are fully coated in butter and up to temperature, we're going to cover them with a cartouche. Now a cartouche, that's just a piece of greaseproof paper or parchment paper. Fold it into a dart like I am here. Hold the point of the dart in the centre of the pan, and then cut a little curve on the outside, and you should have a circle of paper that will fit nicely into the pan. Scrunch the piece of paper up and push it down on top of the veg. Turn the heat down to low, very low, and just let the vegetables simmer away and steam away for about 1/4 hour. The idea of using the cartouche is it keeps the steam more concentrated on the vegetables. You could put a lid on, it'd just take a bit longer. It's also a good method of stopping a skin forming on things as well. And here we are, the 1/4 hour later. Give everything a stir, make sure nothing is stuck to the bottom, and it won't with the cartouche on it on a very low heat anyway. In with the stock. I'm using 500 ml of vegetable stock this time. You could use chicken stock if you want, but I'm trying to keep this one vegetarian. And in with 150 ml of milk. I'm using semi-skimmed, but any milk will do. Bring the pan up to a gentle boil, and then turn it down to a simmer. Pop a lid on and leave it for about 15 to 20 minutes. We want the potatoes to be al dente, I suppose you'd call them, just soft. Now then, I mentioned that I cooked another potato. I looked at my soup and I thought there's not quite enough potato in there to make it a really chunky soup. So I just peeled, diced and boiled another potato. And to make this one a chunky soup, what we're going to do is rescue about 1/3 of the solids out of the soup. So this will be the chunky bit. Allow the pan to cool down a bit and blitz the rest of the soup away to your heart's content. I love blitzing things. And of course, if you want a smooth soup, then don't take any of the vegetables out and don't cook an extra potato. Just blitz the lot down to a puree. While the pan is off the heat, it's time to add the cheese. You can use any cheese you want for this. Cheddar, double Gloucester, red Leicester works very, very well. But I'm using cream cheese this time. So 100 grams of the Marks & Spencer soft cheese, which is a new pot. And I've got some leftover Philadelphia there as well, so I just chuck that in. Give it all a good stir. This is a little bit quicker with cream cheese, I suppose. And once the cheese has melted, turn the heat back on and reintroduce the vegetables plus the extra potato. Warm it through and time to dish up. Well, okay then guys, you know what time it is. Taste test time. Chunky, cheesy, leek and potato soup. Well, you cannot go wrong with that, I tell you. Fantastic. And it got to be done, hasn't it? Well, that is a double diggy thumbs up. Catch you on the next recipe, guys. And what better way to enjoy the soup than with the leftover bits of my rustic loaves. Oh, fantastic. I ended up making 3 extra portions, 1 in the freezer, and my son took 2 away with him. Good, I need to make some more.